Hey, Stephanie Stallworth, AtlTrafficlady. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's a Friday. It's a Friday. Friday the 22nd of March, 2024. And time is a hard taskmaster, baby. Time just keep ticking on by, whether you do something with it or not. And don't we know it? Don't we know it? Oh, it's HowWeFlow.Today-TV. Again, it's Stephanie Stallworth. Like a little bit. Retail traffic lady. Hey, hi, how are ya? What's going on with ya? Ain't chat with y'all in a minute. Been a minute. I was back home. Lost a dear family member. Dear uncle. So went home for his homegoing celebration and all of that. And time is a hard taskmaster. He lived a good, beautiful 96 years of life, 96 plus years. That's what we all pray we can live a good, long, healthy life, right? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He will be truly and dearly missed, I must say. So, tomorrow is never promised, is it? It's just never promised. We never know when our last moment here is on this earth and God calls us home. So I try not to waste too much time. I'm a good time user sometimes, and not always in the best way. So I'm preaching to myself also, but my goodness, how long before, we decide to make a move on what we're going to make a move on, right? Because tomorrow is not promised. I am getting close to, I'm not there. I'm close to the top of my family tree. Oh my gosh. I was just a little spriglet on the lower part of the trunk. Now, as more family members go on to glory, you move further up the tree, and then new youngins is born underneath of y'all, underneath of me and us. Then we move up the tree. Now I'm not the top branch. I still got 2 aunts, 1 uncle, and my father. Then after that, it gets to the level of me, my siblings, and my first cousins. And that's it, right? And so even though we think we have forever, we don't have forever. We don't have forever. Or we think they'll always be there. I'll do it as soon as I'm ready. And people might not always be there. They might just be gone. Right? And so it's like, let me take a sip of my tea. What is really going on? What are we really going to do, right? What is really going on? What is going down around here? So, it was a tough loss, but a great life. He brought joy and kindness to everyone's life. Everyone's life. So, really, in the great scheme of things, we don't have time to be fooling around, wasting time, taking our time doing what we know we're supposed to do, what we know we want to do, because we want to worry about what other people think and say. We only got this one life. I only got mine. You only got yours. What anyone else has to say about it is none of my business, your business. What you got to say about their life is none of their business, because they got to live their own life too. Right? So whatever shall you do? Whatever shall you do? People waste their life just making up stuff about other people. Why do people just waste their lives trying to harm other people? You're wasting your life doing evil to other people. What is that about? I've never understood that. I don't think I ever will. I don't know. Maybe they're just miserable souls. Who knows? But I don't know. But listen, Linda. Fear of the unknown. Need for control and yearning for security can keep you from moving forward with people when you really know you should and you want to. But what if this and what if that? What if they reject me? What if whatever? And if you don't know what's going to happen, then you're out of control of the situation. And can't have that. I got to control the whole thing, you know. I'm speaking to you and I'm speaking to me. And yearning for that security, that place of security. But when you go out to the vulnerable unknown, you know, when you're expressing how you feel about people, you don't know how they're going to respond. And it's not a secure feeling, right? So what are you going to do about it? Just sit and spin? Wait and wonder? Keep listening to other people? Or are you going to listen to the God that created you and listen to your own heart and mind, right? Whatever do we do, right? Whatever do we do? I am, by the way, we do have a resource today. It's called Overcoming Imposter Syndrome. We can talk about that. Because some of the reasons why we won't move forward is because we might be dealing with imposter syndrome. Like, I'm really not deserving of having that great thing. Or me, I dealt with imposter syndrome when, after I had a good long broadcast career, then I got a divorce and didn't feel like I could do anything, you know, anymore. Like, how did I ever even do any of those things I ever did? Ugh. I don't think I can ever broadcast again. Yeah, no, I fully had the capacity and the gifting to do so. But you get this feeling like you can't, or you can't do it anymore. How did I ever do it? Who was I when I was doing that? But you were your own real self. And the imposter part is really, to me, my imposter part was when I was saying I couldn't do it. My true self was using the gift God gave me as a broadcaster, media personality, whatever. So in relationships, we get this, and trying to get to a relationship. Let's just say that there's somebody you're into, you know, in your mind, you built up the whole life with them, right? And you're like, yeah, you know, this is going to be great. It's going to be this and that, or whatever you say. But you never said nothing to them. So, in their mind, they don't know nothing. They can, you know, I could be like, okay, in my inner knowing, I know that there's something here because that's what God told me. However, in my 3D life, they ain't never parted their lips to say anything. So my inner knowing knows one thing. My real life looks like, and what I've seen in the 3D, I ain't seen nothing. Ain't no hide, nor hair, no sign, no inkling, no hunch somebody to it, or give you a hint. No, nothing, right? And why? Because they fear the unknown. Do they fear losing control and fear getting hurt, fear the vulnerability? It is a vulnerable thing to get in a relationship and love somebody. It's vulnerable. It's what it is. And it's a chance you could get hurt. It's a chance they could get hurt. Chance everybody can get hurt. Chance all of that. But you do it anyway. But a lot of people don't do that anyway. They just sit on the fence, sit on the fence, sit on the fence, sit on the fence. But everything's about to burst right out of their chest. Their heart's about to pound out of their chests with all the feeling they have. But they never say anything to the person. So they know how they feel completely. And so in the mindset, it feels like they're moving forward with it. Yet to the person, the object of their desire, the person doesn't know anything. They know their inner knowing, but they ain't heard nothing from you. So there's no concrete evidence. So there's no one talking about anything. Just nothing. Like what? What are you saying? Nothing. Like I said, I'm the most patient creature ever created. And really, I'm just like, listen, Linda, I'll have to start returning some phone calls and conversations soon, because ain't nothing going on. Like, what is really going on? I know it's supposed to be happening, but I don't see nothing. Ain't seen nothing, honey. What is really going on, you know? So it's like, do you feel like an imposter? Like, really, I can't really have this great relationship. I don't really know how to do that. I've worked on myself, but I'm scared to lose control in case they say no. I'm scared of this and that. And we all feel this. You know, for me, if I have inner knowing, if God told me something that's supposed to be, I know what it is. I believe God. Doesn't mean I don't feel nervous about, rejection or that I don't feel nervous about losing control, or I give my all to them and they say, I don't know what you're talking about. Right? Yeah, that's a hurt piece. But that goes with the territory of finding your person. Everybody's not your person. If you keep making everybody your person, you're never going to have a person, because everybody's your person and none of them are your person, as you find out, right? And then when you find your person, and God shows you your person, and you still don't pursue it in the 3D, I don't mean in the 5D, in the spirit, I mean on earth, on the ground, hit the ground. Am I doing anything, saying anything, making any notification, making any calls, any messages, saying anything, conversation, face to face? Your person is telling you everything that you would ever need to want and know, and even more than that, about what they're thinking and feeling, and you just say nothing. So they were vulnerable all the way out there. Fear of losing control, fear of the unknown. They did all that for you. Yearning for security, yet getting nothing. No response. Not even, I'm working on myself, but I want us to do this thing. But I'm still working on something. I'm almost there. I'm almost ready. Just nothing. Not like anything. Like it's a brick wall up. Like, don't know anything about that. This is a blank wall. There is no inkling of anything that could be happening here. So I don't care what you tell me, my person. I don't care what my person tells me. I'm not telling them anything. It's in my mind. It's in my heart. It's in my soul and my spirit. But am I going to peep a word to them? No. I'm going to tell other people. And then they're going to talk me out of it. But I'm not going to say anything to the person that's going to welcome me into it. And to me, it's just hard for me to understand. Again, I'm the most patient creature God ever created. I am. I'm like, okay, I'm over half a decade into this patient thing. And still nothing? Not a doggone thing? Not a note? Send a note. What was the old note? Will you go with me? Yes, no. Even though we'd be watching, the boy be watching when the girl read the note. Yes, no. And they would still see her reaction. But if you send a note or a text or an email or something, you don't have to see the person's reaction. So that takes the vulnerability out of it. They could say no, and then you're not embarrassed face to face. Oh my gosh, you think I like you? Oh, no. But unrequited love, right? And no response to any initiation of conversations and stuff. It's just not fair to the party that's putting all in. I mean, if you're putting all in your mind but not in real life, and they're putting all in their mind and in real life, there's some imbalance there, right? Who's putting in more at that point? And it's not even really like you give 50, I give 50. It's not even that. It's like we both give our all. So, I'm waiting for you to give your all in the 3D. I know intuitively what it is. But just say something. Like, if you would just say something. Hey, whatever. I don't even know what you would say. Just anything. Hi. return a communication. I'm a communications professor, okay? So for me, communication is key. The best communicated message is one that's received by the listener in the way the speaker intended it. So if I send you a bunch of messages or say stuff to you, I hope that you receive it as the listener the way I intended it, with a spirit of love, right? Kindness and, in good faith. And hopefully you do. But then when there's no response, no feedback at all, because here's the speech communication process. The speaker, me, sends a message, what I'm saying, through the channel, however I'm reaching you. Here it's through this video. Could be on a phone call, could be on a text message, could be on an email, could be face to face, could be yelling across the street, could be hand signals somewhere, whatever. However you're communicating. So I'm the speaker. I'm sending my message, what I'm saying, through the channel, which is this video, to the listener, who is you. The next step is the listener gives feedback. Forget the rest of the process. The listener gives feedback. What if the listener is giving no feedback? Then the messaging is dead. You can't get anywhere. Because all the speaker can keep doing is keep sending messages. But with no feedback, no anything from the listener, the speaker cannot adjust the messaging to the needs of the listener, because the listener gives nothing back. Not a head nod, not a return call, not a return message, not a anything, just nothing. No feedback from the listener. The listener's supposed to give you some feedback, right? So you know if you're on the right track or not. Will you go with me? Yes, no. And then they keep the note. And you never get the note back. Then you send another note. Will you go with me? Yes, no. No one sends a note back. Will you go with me? Yes, no. Will you go with me? Yes, no. Will you go with me? Yes, no. Will you go with me? Yes or no? Check one. Will you go with me? Yes or no? Please check one. Please check one of these boxes and return to me. Will you go with me? Yes, no. Return this message to me. And they still say nothing. You're like, what happened to all my messages? Are you even getting my messages? And you know you're getting the message, but you're like, no, I ain't getting no messages. Like, really? What does that tell the speaker? You're not interested, right? Meanwhile, the speaker is getting all kinds of messages. Will you go with me? Yes, no. Will you go with me? Yes, no, from other people. And they're not responding to them because they're waiting for you to respond to them. But you give no response. And so they're like, okay, I'll send another message. Did you get my message? You been getting my messages? No. Do you know so-and-so about so-and-so? I told you, no. Did you know something? No. Did you get so-and-so? No. So that's a breakdown in the communication process when you know you got the messages. You know you got the calls. You know you got the text. You know you got the letters, notes, emails, whatever there is, whatever message, the carrier pigeon. You know you got the chain letter, the child chain letter. You know, remember the chain letters? Oh, God, that's in the 70s and 80s. I think that was where they used to promise something. If you send $1, send this to $1 to whoever, then they send, I don't know, somehow, and supposedly you're supposed to be getting all this money back, and it never was. I think that's illegal. But we were younger girls, they used to send those out. I think they still do. Somebody probably still does. It's another way to scam, but I guess I never understood it to be a scam, but I guess it is. So child chain letter, don't just know nothing. Carrier pigeon, no nothing. No Morse code, dash dot. Dash dot dash. I don't know what's SOS. SOS. What are we doing here? Save our ship. Save our souls. Save ourselves. And maybe it's save ourselves from losing control. Save ourselves from the fear of the unknown. Save ourselves from yearning for security that we might not get by not responding. I don't know why people don't respond. But if the communication process is the speaker sends a message through the channel to the listener gives feedback. That's the next step. And let's say the listener does give feedback, which they don't. There's always interference. It's another crucial part. After they give feedback, know that in every communicated message, whether it's a conversation, a speech, presentation, or whatever, there's always interference. Two types of interference. I teach my students this. Internal interference and external interference. There's always interference, internal and external. And it happens within the confines of a situation. So internal interference is anything that's happening within the speaker or the listener's mind that will keep them from receiving this message properly. External interference is anything that happens outside of the speaker or the listener that keeps them from receiving this message properly. I don't know why I never talked about this before, but this describes the situation I'm in perfectly. Internal interference. Will you go with me? Yes, no. Never hear nothing back. Never hear nothing back. Never hear nothing back. Not that I'm saying will you go, but you know what I mean. There's a whole implied relationship that could be going on there that is supposedly set up. But yet no one ever says anything. So the internal interference of the listener is, what if I lose control? What if they reject me? What if they can't forgive me for all the things I've done to thwart the whole thing? I know I'm really wanting them. I know I want this more than anything, but I'm scared to say anything. I can't bear to see the hurt in their eyes when I tell them the truth about all the things I've done. When they think everybody else messed it up, I messed it up too. I can't face them. I can't. And I'm just going to keep dragging this thing out until eternity, until I'm at the top of my family tree, and then boop, my branch breaks off and I'm going on to glory. Then you never get what God had for you here on earth. Stop doing that, okay? Shucks. If you in your 50s and up, you at the top of the doggone tree. So, internal interference. I'm too scared to say anything, because if I do, then this. If I do, then that. If they say no, then this. My heart will be broken. I'll be embarrassed. I'll be this and that. And that's all the stuff, all the little messages and tapes we play in our head that keep us from making the move that we know we need to make because of these insecurities. That's internal interference. We go me, yes, no. And you're saying, I want this more than anything. God said, yeah, I should definitely be doing this, is what he brought for me. But I'm scared of this and that. And you think of all these things playing in your head, all these tapes rolling again and again, and it keeps you from making any move. You just get frozen, just stuck in place, right? And so what happens after that? Nothing. The speaker just keeps sending messages. Did you hear me? Can you hear me? Did you get this? No, I don't know. He's making up stuff. No, just to not have to respond. And when you respond, you're worried about you getting rejection. Let's respond from a place of positive thought. Like, actually, they might say absolutely yes. If God sent it for me, it's going to be absolutely yes. So why would I worry? And maybe you're not at that place yet. So let's go from a place of clarity. We go with me, yes, no. And you say nothing. They're finally like, well, I'm going to say something. And I don't know. Once I tell them everything, I have to tell them all the truth of really what went on the whole time. They might say, you did all that to me to hurt this thing? Forget it. But you got to go from a place of clarity and still say what needs to be said. Because the consequences will be the consequences, whatever they are. Some people might be like, what? You did all of that? Forget it. I never want to be with you ever. Or some people say, what? You did all of that? Well, why did you do it? Well, because, I felt this and I was worried about that. And I was never taught to show feelings. And I don't understand how to interact in that way. I'm not sure what to say right. I don't always make the right choices. I don't always make the best decisions. But I know my feelings for you, but I can't express them. I don't know how to express them. I was never taught to express feelings because I was told to not show emotions and taught not to do that. So at my adult age, I struggle with that. Then the person will either understand or they won't. And if it's who God had for you, they're going to understand. They already know this stuff anyway, but they're going to understand it. And then you talk about it. And that opens the dialogue and the listener gives feedback. And even though there was some internal interference there, we talk about it and we get through it. And then the cycle continues in the process and the listener becomes the speaker. Finally, I'm waiting for the listener to become the speaker. And then me, the speaker, to be the listener. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm open to it. I'm not going to shut the door. God opened the door. Why would I shut a door God opened? He opened a door no man can shut. I can't shut it. You can't shut it. So stop shutting out the feedback that you're supposed to give, because that's messing up the whole thing, slowing it down, if not drawing it to a halt. And what God has is always going to be unless you drag your feet and scuff your shoes long enough till you're at the top of the family tree, and then your branch clunks off, and then you're going on to glory. You missed it. You missed the whole thing. The most beautiful thing in your life on earth, you have missed it from dragging feet, scuffing shoes, and worrying about listener giving feedback. And I don't want you to feel like that. Like, you need to know you're in a safe space. God would only put you in a safe space. The spaces you've been in that were not safe were not God ordained. And if God did ordain them and they turned to be toxic or whatever, then there's a lesson to learn from it and yet move on. But don't let that keep you from your next great, best opportunity ever. Right? So internal interference, don't let them tapes play in your head to keep you from making any move at all. Because the speaker ain't never heard nothing back. You ever send messages? Okay, how about in the old days? I guess even in the new days. You apply for jobs. Apply for all these jobs. My son's trying to apply for a job. He applied for 5 jobs and think that's enough. I'm like, it's not enough. I haven't heard back from any of them. Well, you only apply for 5 jobs. So you need to apply for 55 jobs. And so, back in the day, you apply for all these jobs. You had to go get the newspaper, get the help wanted ads, circle the ad, write the letter, type the letter, put a stamp on it, seal it, address it, seal it, take it to the post office, mail the resume. Someone delivers the mail to the office. I used to work in the office and I would get the mail. I work in the HR office. Get the mail, open up the resumes, sort them out, give them to each of the HR managers, whoever's job it was. And then they go through all the stack of the resumes and all. It takes a lot of time. And then you might be the 1 or 2 or 5 that gets looked at and responded to. And then the listener gives feedback. Hey, I want to call you in for an interview. Then they set up the interview. Then you got to get dressed and ready and everything's spiffy and on point. And you go down there and you show up early. And you go and you wait in the waiting room and you're all alert and on your game. And you go and you meet them and you talk and they interview you interview them because you interviewing them too. Is this the right job for me? You need to be interviewing these people in your life. Are you the right people for me? Are you the right people in my inner circle? That's an aside, but that's another point. They're not just seeing if you're good for them. You got to see if they're good for you. And that's another point for another day. So you go and what are your strengths and weaknesses? We all got strengths and weaknesses. None of us is perfect. So if we get to age 50 plus, I'm in my 50s, you're in your 50s probably. Some of you in 40s, 30s. Maybe some are teens and 20s, who knows. But I'm talking to somebody in their 50s. And you don't have no strengths and weaknesses. And that's kind of odd, right? But we all have strengths and weaknesses. And if you expect someone who's just pure perfection at age 50 plus, no, everybody got something, right? You got something. You might have a few things going on with you. They might have a few things going on with them. But which of these things am I willing to say, okay, I'm good with that. We can work with that. Or which are my non-negotiables? I'm not going to work with that. And that's where the fear of the unknown and yearning for security comes in and losing control because it's up to someone else to decide, do I want to engage with this person? Do I want to hire this person? Do I want to, get to know this person better? But you got to put that stuff out there in order for them to see it and then interact in the interview in order to determine if we go any further. But if they keep sending you notes, letters, communications, and you never respond, what are they to think? They're not interested. Even if I ask them directly, they're not interested. They say, nope, don't know. No inkling, no nothing. I'm sitting here, this sound here, I'm sitting here sending messages, sending notes, sending this. This is me throwing communication at somebody. Not throwing it, extending communication. Again and again and again, hitting a brick wall. No response, no response, no response, no response. I better find some other brick wall to send something to that might actually build a door and open it up so I can get in there. But the brick wall, that don't do nothing for nobody. It doesn't do anything for the person who's trying to get to you. All they get is hit with a brick wall. Not even a door slam, because the door was never open because you never said anything. It's just a brick wall that they think you're on the other side waiting for them. However, you didn't say you were. It's just their inner knowing what God says, right? And then on your side of the wall, where you're not responding at all, you're swelled up with all of this emotion and feeling for the person. But you won't tell them about it. So there's only so much room in your room until all that swells up so big, you fill up the whole room with it and just bust out. Where you going to go? You're going to break through the wall and knock the person down? I don't know. Or you're going to just implode with the whole thing? I don't know. But there's nothing healthy about that brick wall feeling. That thing there, can't do that. You can't God made us have feelings so we can feel them. I said this before. People say, oh, you all in your feelings. Well, why did God give you feelings? For you to feel things. Feel them. And then share the feelings. We can't have all these feelings inside and just swell us up with feeling. I'm feeling so, like a cartoon where their heart is bursting out of their chest. Like Pepe Le Pew. You're so lovely, so beautiful. I love you, darling. Let's spend our lives together. You were made for me. I made for you. Pepe Le Pew, that skunk who loved the cat, the girl that was a cat with the same black and white stripe on her tail or something. He thought she was a skunk, but she was really a cat. And she's like, oh my gosh, get out of here. But he had all this love and feeling for her. And it just overflowed. And he finally just told her everything. Oh, my darling. Now it's up to her to love him or not love him. If he didn't have that brick wall smell, then maybe she'd be like, oh, I'm good with you too. I know we're a little different than each other, but I still love you too, right? But God created us with feelings. He didn't have to give us feelings, but he did. So we can feel the feeling. We can experience what goes with the feelings. And yes, when you share your feelings with people, there's a fear of the unknown. There's a yearning for security. I'm giving you my most vulnerable part. The fear of losing control. And those things, they get complex in any situation, any relational situation. Anytime you're trying to either become friends with people or romantic partners with people or whatever, all of that exists anyway. But I think it's compounded when you're expressing these feelings for people who can't even receive the feeling, or for people who are in toxic mindsets, because that's why you continue to fear the unknown and fear the need for not fear of losing control and fear and that you're yearning for some security, because all the people that you keep running into, they keep making you lose control. They keep making you go into this unknown space where you just get hit upside the head with a brick wall. They keep giving you no feeling of security. And so therefore, because you run into that so many times, that's all you know. All I know is I got to have control of the situation. I got to feel secure. I'm not going to say nothing. I can't have the unknown. I got to know exactly what's going to happen. And we get this whole control mechanism going. That doesn't help you, doesn't help them, doesn't help the situation, doesn't help the relationship. And so, the speaker sends a message through the channel. I've used all channels I can think of to the listener. And you be the listener. The listener gives feedback, which I got no feedback. So that breaks the communication process right there. And there's always interference, internal and external, all this internal interference about the fear of the unknown or not having control of the situation or yearning for that security. Internal interference. There's also external interference. There's been plenty of that. That's anything outside of the speaker or listener that interferes with the messages being sent. Not being sent. Yes, sent and received, really. Interferes with the messages being received by the listener from the sender. The sender sends you messages through all different channels. To you, the listener, Yet the listener doesn't get them because of external interference blocking the messaging, keeping you from receiving it because they think they're going to tell you what you need to know or not know, what emails you need to receive or not receive, what messages you need to get. They're going to block numbers on your device because they're going to tell you how to operate your own life. So we talked before about taking your control back, take your power back, take your pen back, write these people out of your life. But that's external interference. External interference also in you sending out messages. Maybe you try to call the person and someone blocked their number on your phone because they have access to your stuff like that. You know, if you have people work for you and they do stuff, they could do stuff. And another aside for another day, and we've mentioned it before, is to ask yourself, why are these people externally interfering with the connection with these messages? Why do they not want you to have that connection with the person? There's nothing bad about the connection, except that it will affect them in a negative way. Not you. It'll affect you in the most beautiful way ever in your whole entire life, like the dream come true, the missing piece to your puzzle lock, right? But for them, it either knocks them out of the place that they've assumed, or maybe you've given them. It knocks them out of access to all the things that they're taking from you because you let them have control of decision making in some areas. Or it shines a light on all the old dirty stuff they're doing that messes up your life and what's good for you and what you really want. So they're going to block that thing. Oh no, we're not upsetting this apple cart. Whatever that person sends, block it. Anything they send, intercept it. Anything they say, never give the message. Anything they do, whatever. And they might tell you, oh, this person means you no good. Whatever they send, don't listen to it. Whatever they say, it's a lie. Whatever this and that, you know, and they'll turn you against them also. Until you begin to understand what really is going on. And then you see it for yourself. There's been a lot of external interference. And I mean, for years, couple of years at least. Right? That's going to mess up the message. There's always some kind of interference, internal or external. What you're thinking, what I'm thinking. Or that's internal or external. Any other thing that goes on to block this communication. And I'm so over this interference. Like really, just cut the whole interference out and just deal with the person one-on-one. Say something and move it forward. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Like just sitting around here, it's like, oh my gosh. I'm on super patient mode for over half a decade now. And I just, I'm just like, I'm going to start having some doggone fun myself. I'm sure you having some fun. I'm going to have me some fun. I'm trying to be sitting around here. I'm at the top of the tree. So it's like it's spring of summer. I would start returning some phone calls that I haven't returned. Waiting for somebody else to call. Ain't calling. So whenever you think you're ready. In real life, in the 3D, I'm talking about the 3D. I know in the 5D, you're thinking all these wonderful things in the spiritual realm. In the natural realm, none of it's showing up. You're not doing none of it because of all the things you get worried about. But if God gave it to you, I want you to stop worrying about it. Just step out on that faith. I promise you, you will never, ever regret it. You won't be made to feel less than. You won't be made to feel insecure. You won't be made to regret being vulnerable. You won't be made to feel any of that. Like none of that is even part of what God sets up for you. But it's just because we keep running into these other kinds of people and we keep letting them in and they keep tearing up the joint. And then you don't want that feeling again. Everything being torn apart. Messed up. Trampled on. Getting trampled on. Your feelings trampled on. Getting fussed and yelled at all the time. These people are not for you. And there's better for you, but you've been through the ringer, you might not want to even step out there no more. And I feel sorry if you feel that way because you gotta believe God. You gotta give it a chance. If you never give it a chance, then you just never know. And the thing is, you just have to have the clarity of knowing. Oh, I feel this and that for that person. Oh, they're the one for me, but I'm never going to tell them because I don't want them to say no. I'll just believe it in my head. Well, that doesn't serve you or them. So you might as well just say something. And either they're going to say yes or they're going to say no. And then you'll know. And then they'll know. And then we move on from there. If they said yes, hooray. We're on with it. Let's go. Run and see what the end's going to be. If they say no, then they say no. And then it's on to the next. But I'm at the rule them in or rule them out. You got to rule the people in, rule the people out. Rule the situations in or out. You can't just sit there and not do anything. You can't just do nothing. It's unfair to everybody involved. So, I've been being patient. Like, well, when you think you're ready, see what's up then. But I can't just be sitting around here getting to the top of my tree and have no fun in life, waiting for somebody to be fun. This mama tired. I say, this mama tired. I didn't even get no chain letter about it. At least you received those in the mail. I didn't get nothing. Right? Standing here, turn into a statue, turn into a fossil. Like, what is that? And why am I doing that? Why am I standing here waiting? Only because I believe God, but in the natural, I ain't seen jack, nor sprat, nor eat no fat. My wife could eat no lean. Listen, Linda, I'm turning into a statue and a fossil, and I gotta say no to that. I mean, that's the same as me choosing to put someone else ahead of me. I'm putting someone else ahead of me while they do whatever they want, flowing, doing their life, and they figure I'll just always be there. They'll always be there. Let me keep doing what I'm doing until I'm ready. And that's just unfair for me to do that to my own self. So I gotta ask myself, what am I doing? Right, sit here bored out of my skull. I ain't gonna be bored much longer. I'm gonna be ringing, and I'm actually answer it. I don't want to, but come on, you better get to calling, because I don't know what's going on. I ain't seen hide nor hair, not a peep. Did you read my note? Nope. What note? Oh, who'd you give it to? I gave it to you. Oh yeah, I got that up there. We'll go look at it. All right, well, here's another note. Since we can't get messages, text, emails, or phone calls, let me give it to you written form in your hand. There it is. Do you even get to look at it? Or maybe they take it and scowl with it. Who knows? All I know is I'm getting the brick wall. I'm getting no response. I'm getting no feedback from the listener. And I don't even know what to do. I'm just like, why am I standing here? What am I doing? I'm trying to listen to what God says, but boy, I hope they listen to what God says, because it can't work when only one person listens. Delayed obedience is disobedience. It's like, I tell you, I'll talk to them face to face. Tell everything you should ever want to know. I'll even write it down. Do I get a response? Next time I see them, nothing. No response. Nothing. It doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not like everybody. So I just need the listeners to give feedback, because you're ruining the whole communication process, okay? Fear of losing what it is that you desire is one thing. I can't say anything. I'm scared that they won't want what I want. I'm scared to lose what it is I really want. Well, you lose anyway by simply not participating. Right? It's just like I was thinking earlier, it's just like in sports, in high school sports. Somehow a team wouldn't show up to the game, then they still lose. There's a game to be played. There's a meeting and a match set up. And the invitation was sent from the home team to the visiting team. The visiting team never showed up. After a certain amount of time, they forfeit the game. They lose. Even by not showing up, not participating, you still lose. You could lose by getting together and having the game or having the conversation, talking about it, and you win or lose. Either y'all agree that, yeah, this is it, or you say, One person says, yeah, it's it. The other person says, no, it's not it. Or vice versa. Or you both say it's not it. But at least you played the game and played out the process, right? But by simply not participating, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep it all to myself. Because I'm scared what's going to happen if I lose. You'd still lose because you didn't participate. You forfeited. You lose. When you forfeit, you lose. So don't forfeit. Right? You know, sometimes people just play games with people. You just get used to manipulating and playing mind games. And, oh, if I don't say anything, maybe they'll be more intrigued by me and they'll want me more. There's a sense of mystery to me not saying anything. No, there's no sense of mystery to you not saying anything. There's a sense of like, why aren't they saying anything? And they don't want you more. They want to know why you're not responding to them. Why you don't respect them in the same way they respect you. Right? And so that mind games and tricks, you know, I don't do that stuff. And it doesn't work for me. It might work for some people. Some people it might work on, but it don't work on me. So if you want to get to me, you don't do those things. You just come talk to me. I teach communication. I'm a communicator. That's what I need. I need to hear you, see you, feel you, taste you, touch you, smell you, all of that. I need the communication, not the brick wall. And again, I am the most patient creature God ever created, right? And one of the most loving, kind individuals you'll ever meet. And I don't try to do anyone wrong or harm anyone or hurt anyone's feelings. Even if I didn't want to be with you, I still ain't going to be mean and hurt your feelings. But, you know, I want what God wants for me. And if God wants you for me, then that's what I want. So it don't matter what you say. Well, it matters, but it don't matter what you say. Because I know eventually you'll be who you're supposed to be. And I'm going to be who I'm supposed to be. But I'm just saying, like, Linda, really? This mama tired. Spring is sprung. The weather's getting nice. I'm trying to go have some doggone fun. It ain't winter no more. So you cuffing in your cuffing season, get rid of the cuff and move the heck on. Ain't got no time to be playing around with these people. I'm telling you. Top of the family tree. Top of the family tree, honey. And I am not going to be leaving this earth I'm going to leave by myself, but I ain't going to be by myself. My significant other will be in my life. So, you know. Come on in. Or don't. Just say, I don't want to. I'm too nervous about it. I ain't going to do it. I'll let somebody else do it. And someone else will do it. There's people that want to do it. But I want you to do it. Right? I want what God said. I don't want no other stuff. There's plenty of other stuff to do. But I don't want to do other stuff. So I was still sitting here. But, you know, I can't sit here much longer. Doing nothing I could be sitting here waiting if I knew you was working on this thing. But if I ain't heard nothing, no responses to anything or whatever, I'm just like, nothing in the 3D. I know everything in the 5D. I know everything in the spiritual realm. I know my inner knowing. I know what God said. I know what he showed me. I know everything. I know all of that. But I've seen no hide nor hair, no tail, no turn of this here in this life here on this earth. And I need to see something. Hear something. I need you to say something. You know, people need that. People need a response. It's a communication process. We've been communicating ever since we've existed. Even when you came out of your mother's womb. Wah, 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 wah. You're the speaker, baby speaker. Sending the message, wah, 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 through the channel. You yelling and your mom and dad could hear you crying. They're the listeners. They give feedback. Oh, baby. What do you need? Are you hungry? They responded. They gave you feedback. And you said, wah, wah, wah. No, they're not hungry. They don't want nothing to drink, no bottle. Are you wet? You got to get your diaper changed? Wah, wah, wah. Nope. Diapers dry. Everything's good there. What else? What else? You want us to just hold you? Wah. We were holding them. They still crying. Why are you still crying, baby? You're trying to understand each other. Well, I don't know. Maybe they have, and you call the doctor. Maybe they have gas. See if they have gas. Then you help them relieve gas and they go or burp. And they're like, ah, you're like, ah, whatever, you're the baby. And the messages came back and forth. Speaker sends a message through the channel to the listener. Listener gives feedback. There's interference, internal, external, happens in the situation. And then after the listener gives feedback, the listener becomes the speaker again, and the speaker says something to the listener, the listener becomes the speaker, and it begins the process of communicating. It's a conversation. We've been doing this ever since we've existed. This is nothing new. The only thing that's new is all the stuff that has occurred and all the interactions you've had with people who meant you no good, or y'all didn't understand each other, or you communicated differently, or it was meant to be, but it got messed up, or wasn't meant to be, and it's stayed messed up, or whatever feelings have happened and whatever experiences we've all had. But does that stop us from still seeking a loving relationship? God created us to be in fellowship with each other, right? And why would he create those loving feelings if we're supposed to have love in our life? But, again, I am the most patient creature ever created. I am. But even the most patient creatures, they need to hear something. Because if they just hear nothing, it's like, okay, well, I guess there's no one home. The car's in the driveway. I know. They ain't answering the door. I guess they don't want to talk. They don't want to engage. They don't want to participate. God, they don't want to participate. Stay patient. All right. They're still not participating. I know. I talked to them about it. All right, God. I'm being patient. Then does God ever one day just say, they still not listening to me? I'm going to give their blessing to somebody else who does want to hear me, and we'll go over that fear factor and go ahead and do what I said, because they trust me more than they trust the fear. And I don't want his second choice. I want his first choice for me. So please, I beg of thee, I beseech ye. Say something, baby. You got to say something. And why don't you say anything? Maybe it's imposter syndrome. Could be. So let's get into our resource for today. It is called Overcome Imposter Syndrome. The title of this video. Stop playing with them and stop playing yourself. So I say, stop playing with me. You playing with me. Stop playing with me. All right. Stop playing yourself. Overcome Imposter Syndrome with Stephanie Stallworth. Your AtlTrafficlady on HowWeFlow.Today-TV. All right, you guys. Let's talk about this resource here. I've said all I can say on the other subject. Yeah, now I'm about to get them old applications out and see who's on the roster. Who else sent an application in to just help wanted that? I need some help over here. Overcome Imposter Syndrome. Let's talk about this resource. This resource, Overcome Imposter Syndrome, is really good. It will help you recognize imposter syndrome. You know what it is? It's a pattern of self-doubt that can cause stress and missed career opportunities and other opportunities in life. It's a pattern. The pattern repeats itself again and again and again and again. Do you have this pattern of self-doubt that can cause stress and missed opportunities? Yeah. It can be linked to low self-esteem and linked to depression, possibly. Could create a cycle. I believe luck helped me get where I am today. I believe God's blessing helped me. For me, I believe God's blessing. Some people believe luck. I believe God helped me get where I am today. And you got to look for the pattern of self-doubt. Like, I can't do that anymore. I can't broadcast anymore. This is a cycle of linked to low self-esteem, depression. I was depressed, right? Then I was like, I don't even know how I could do it anymore. Do you feel, or do you have imposter syndrome? You have feelings of self-doubt? Do you ever doubt yourself? Do you strive for perfectionism? Everything must be perfect. Do you have fear you can't meet others' expectations, relationally or on the job? I don't know if I might let her down because I might not meet her expectations. I might mess up. Well, nobody's perfect. You want to be messing up. Perfectionism is not something that everybody can do. Sabotaging yourself. Are you sabotaging? That's the whole thing. Sabotaging yourself. Are you messing it up before you ever even start doing it? Sabotage yourself. That's imposter syndrome. Sabotaging yourself. Fearing you can't meet others' expectations. Sabotaging yourself. Perfectionism is imposter syndrome. Feelings of self-doubt can be imposter syndrome. Believing your success comes from other factors is imposter syndrome. 70% of people, they say, experience imposter syndrome once in their lives. So you're not alone in feeling that. So when I was feeling it, I wasn't alone. But I had to come up out of that so I can get back to my career, my life. Do you have imposter syndrome with negative thinking? Maybe go talk to your therapist. It's okay to do that. Might have feelings of inadequacy and incompetence in areas of either work or relationally. I don't know how to love. I don't know how to receive love. I don't know how to express emotions. I don't know how to do any of that. And maybe they won't like it. But you can work on those things if you want to. But you have to want to. Do you have imposter syndrome? It impacts several areas of your life. Agonizing over small mistakes. Sensitive to constructive criticism. It will impact you. Imposter syndrome can impact you by your worrying about being found out. They're going to find out I don't know how to love. They're going to find out I don't really know how to do this job. They're going to find out I ain't really got no oil. Lucy. Another area it can impact is you can't see your skills or your value. Yeah, being found out is a whole thing. Come on with the oil. I digress. What causes imposter syndrome? Here's something important to know. Family background can cause imposter syndrome, where your parents valued achievement and they were very critical. Ask yourself, does any of that apply? Not that we shouldn't value achievement, but value your achievement over their unconditional love for you, right? I only love you if you're doing these things, if you're achieving at this level. If you're failing out and doing this and that, messing around, we don't love you. We value you and love you if you're achieving, and we're going to be very critical about everything you do without showing unconditional loving if you make a mistake. Family background can cause imposter syndrome. Another thing can cause it is you're entering a new role, a new college, a new job, a new sport, new club, new relationship. I don't think I can live up to that. I've never had a successful, great relationship before, but here it is in front of me and I actually feel something for them like I've never felt for anybody else. But it's a new role to me. What if I mess that up? Of course, you're going to feel imposter syndrome with that. Another thing that could cause imposter syndrome, it overlaps with social anxiety disorder, feelings of not belonging in a group, linked to being told you weren't good in social situations. It can lead to depression if not addressed. If you deal with anxiety, anybody anxious? Sometimes we get anxious. Social anxiety. I might rather stay home than go out. And then people say, who all going to be there? I don't know if that's social anxiety. That's just you deciding who you want to be around. But, who all is going to be there as if I don't belong in that group. I'm not going to go to that social event because I don't feel like I belong there. That could be social anxiety disorder, right? You got to check with your therapist. Another thing that could cause imposter syndrome. You look for validation from authority figures. You look for validation externally from authority figures, your parents to validate you, your bosses to validate you, your teachers, your professors to validate you. And you let them, other people, you let them determine if you're successful or not. That will cause imposter syndrome because they can't give you your own internal validation. They can have their opinions about you. But if you let them determine whether or not you're successful, then that's when we lose control. That's when they have the pen to write our lives. And they write themselves in every future scene of our movie, of our lives. We've talked about this before. So if you're looking for validation from other people, authority figures, then you're dealing with some possible imposter syndrome. There are, let's see, 5 types of imposter syndrome to talk about here in this resource. The perfectionist never feels satisfied with your work. You focus on flaws over strengths. Give yourself a lot of self-pressure. That's a perfectionist. Are you a perfectionist? How about the superhero? Pushes themselves very hard. I gotta be super, super, super. That's another type of imposter syndrome. Another type of imposter syndrome is called natural genius. You set high goals, feel like you fail when you don't succeed on your first try. Natural genius. The soloist type of imposter syndrome, you prefer to work on your own. You link your productivity with your self-worth. How much did I get done? That's how much I'm worth. You think asking for help is a sign of weakness if you're a soloist, right? That's another type of imposter syndrome. This resource also talks about the expert as a type of imposter syndrome. You're always learning more. I'm an expert. I'm never satisfied with my own knowledge. I'm becoming more and more of an expert every day. I'm skilled, but I still feel inadequate. Expert, always learning more, never satisfied with what you know. Skilled, but feels inadequate. I mean, you don't have to be an expert at relationships to be in a relationship. You don't have to be an expert in successful relationships to be in successful relationships. Don't not feel satisfied with what you know. Just learn as you go. You teach each other, help each other. You're skilled at it, but you feel inadequate. And there's a difference between imposter syndrome and self-doubts, okay? Imposter syndrome, it's constant. I always feel these things. Self-doubt is more temporary. I doubted myself for a while. Okay, I'm back on track. But imposter syndrome, again and again. Again and again, I'm never satisfied with my knowledge. Again and again, I link my productivity with my self-worth. Again and again, I'm feeling like I fail when I don't succeed on the first try. Again and again, I am focusing on my flaws over my strength. Again and again, I let other people determine if I'm successful. Again and again, this is a pattern. I link being told that I weren't good in certain situations to whether or not I'm fit for those situations. I feel like I don't belong in certain groups of successful people or happy people. Again and again, my family background where my parents valued achievement over just you being the human that you are. They're very critical no matter what you do, because it only has to be about achievement and perfectionism. And the love was not given unless it was perfect. You're criticized unless you were perfect. That could cause imposter syndrome. And that could also teach you about love. And we talked about this before, unconditional love. Give me your unconditional love, the kind of love I deserve. The kind I want in return. I want unconditional love in return. I give out unconditional love. I'm giving you unconditional love even now. Even now. Even though I said I'm going to entertain some phone calls. It's still unconditional love. If you call me, hey, it's on. If somebody else called me, hey, I'm going to take a call because I ain't heard from you. So it's like unconditional love that we're supposed to learn from our parents. Sometimes we don't learn it from them because maybe they don't know how to give it. Right? Because their parents were very critical, maybe. And it goes down through the generations. We only learn what we live. And if no one tells us how to do anything differently, we just keep doing the same thing. So you got to ask yourself, am I doing the same things that my parents did with me to my kids? The things that were not helpful for me? The things that were possibly detrimental to me, even though I don't want to say so, but yeah, how can I change how that thing is rolling? You got to change the trajectory of your future generations. It's up to you. Just like you got to change the trajectory of your future relationships. It's up to you. No more manipulation, no more mind games, no more, let me just be coy. Let me just give a sense of mystery so that they'll want to pursue me more. No, just say what you mean and mean what you say. That's it. So unlearn all that other stuff and learn how to be real and regular in a relationship where you're heaping unconditional love. You're heaping, your true feelings. You're not holding them back. You're not holding them hostage. You're not trying to use your feelings as a method of control over the other person or the lack of showing your feelings. Well, if I don't tell them, then they're going to keep trying to get after me more and more. I want them to chase me. No, why are we even doing that? Chasing is a game. We don't play games. Just live the life, right? We flip the switch on all that game stuff. We don't do mind games. It might work on some people because they're up for that. I'm not up for that. And I know you can do what you need to do for this thing. So no more sense of mystery. I won't really tell him that I'm really crazy about him. I just want him to be crazy about me. And then one day I'll tell him maybe. No, just say something. You just have to talk. Grown-ups talk. Grown-ups communicate. You're a grown-up. So let's do that thing. All right. So, let's see. Let me sit back up in my chair. That was types of imposter syndrome. And they were the perfectionist, the superhero, the natural genius, the soloist, the expert. And again, imposter syndrome is a constant. Self-doubt, more temporary. So that's how you kind of can tell. Am I just having a little moment of self-doubt or two here about this relationship? Or am I feeling imposter syndrome? Like, I can never live up to that. I love them, but I just don't know if I can. I might mess up. Then what? I'll tell them all the things I did that was terrible while I was still in my mind game thing. And they thought it was other people that was really me. Well, you got to own it. You got to own up to that thing. Speak the truth in love. Say what you did, why you did what you did. Help them understand it and then move on. I can understand. If I can understand it, I can deal with it. But if I can't understand it or I don't have any information, all I can do is make up my own information. You don't want me to make up my own information about what you thinking or feeling. Because I can make anything up. I can make up, they don't really care. They just playing with me like they play with everybody else. And that might not be the case. So it's up to you to state your case and what it really is. So no one has to wonder or ask questions. All right. It might seem basic. Some people might not know these things. That's why I'm talking about them. There ain't no shame in not knowing it. We learn something new every day. All right. There's nothing about this that is giving shade. Nothing about this that's angry or mean spirited. There's nothing about this that is not given with love. Speak the truth with love. And that's what I'm doing. I'm here to help. We're here to help. We're here to help each other. So let's find out some steps. This resource talks about some steps to overcoming imposter syndrome. Number 1, take action. 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 We want action. We want action. 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 That's one of our old cheerleaders. Come on with some action. Put action first to change habits and behaviors. Action first, not thinking about it and wondering about it and worrying about it. Take action. Action. We want action. I want some action, baby. I need some action. Sit up here by myself and got no action. While you playing around with action over there. Put action first to change habits and behaviors. Take action, and that improves your confidence levels if you actually take a step. Like that baby just learning to take a step. They improve their confidence about taking steps. First, they wobble a little and hold on to something. They a little wobbly. Then they might move their foot a little bit like, oh, I moved my foot, but maybe I could do some more. Oh, no, I fell down. All right, we try it again, but improve the confidence because you took the action. Taking action to change habits and behaviors improves your confidence levels when you're taking action. It changes the way you think. Your whole mind starts to switch up when you take action, because we get stuck in this cycle in your mind of, they're going to think this. If I tell them that, then they're going to hate me. Then just stop the thinking the way you've been thinking. Take an action step. That's going to improve your confidence level because you're going to say, hey, how are you? Because I don't know what to say to them. Just say hi. And they'll say, hi, how are you? You'll say, I'm doing fine. How have you been? Oh, all is well. I'm so happy to hear from you. Oh, yeah, it's good to speak to you too. I know it's been a while. Da, da, da. And you go from there, right? And taking that action, once you take the first step, then the next, and then the next, the baby takes the next step. They're still holding on to the next step. And eventually they get their confidence up enough to try it and not worry if they fall. They fall, they know they can still get back up. Just like when we talk about we lose everything in life. I lost everything twice, 3 times, but I know I can get it back again. It improves your confidence level. It changes the way you think, because we've been stuck in this thought life. What is your thought life? Talk about what your prayer life is. What's your thought life? What do you think about yourself? What do you say to yourself about yourself? We talked about this many months ago. What do you say to yourself about yourself in relationships? What do you say to yourself about yourself and really having this love that you really are feeling so strongly for, but you haven't opened your mouth about it? What are you saying to yourself about that? They're not going to receive it. They're not going to want me like I want it. Don't say that to yourself. Take the action step and realize, oh, they're open to this. Oh, I improve my confidence as I take more steps. Oh, it changes the way I think about this whole thing. So take action. What's our cheer? Action, action. We want action, action, action. We want action. 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 Come on, action. Overcoming imposter syndrome steps. Number 1, take action. Number 2, talk about your feelings. I'm a Muppet. You know, when they open if you're a Muppeteer and you're open up their mouth with your hands, talk about your feelings. And so I'm just like, overcoming imposter syndrome step. Talk about your feelings. You don't hold those in. He gave it to us to feel and to share, not to hold it tight to our chest. I feel all these feelings are swelling up in me and they're going to bust open. You got to talk about it. Talk about your feelings. That's another step to overcoming imposter syndrome. I don't deserve a great relationship. Well, I'm going to talk about my feelings. I don't think I'm going to do this. Well, yeah, talk about it. And then you won't get that unrequited. I'm talking about my feelings, but it's unrequited. That's a hurtful thing. I put action out there and my confidence is up, but some days my confidence is down. Like, I ain't heard nothing. Change the way I think. Yeah, it's going to be great. I still think that, but it'd be great if I heard back, right? Then I could improve my confidence level even more. Like, okay, at least I know that they're feeling what I believed that they was feeling. What I was told they was feeling. My inner knowing says what God said, right? So in overcoming imposter syndrome, steps 1, take action, action. We want action. That'll improve your confidence level. Put action first to change your habits and your behaviors. It'll change the way you think. Number 2, talk about your feelings. Talk about your feelings. Like a Muppet yelling with their big mouth open. Talk about your feelings. And number 3, focus on other people. Find other people in the same situation as you. Bring them into your group and talk about it. You'll feel more included when helping another person. Well, I'm in the same situation as you about this whole feeling thing. Bring me into the conversation. You'll feel more included while you're helping me feel included. We'll feel included together. Yes, that works. That's number 3. Focus on other people, not just yourself. In this case, focus on the other person in this situation. While they're just sitting here, bored out of their skull, while you out there having fun. That is not fair. Number 4, assess your skills. Check in with on your talents and your skills in this relationship area. That's what we're talking about. But in your work area, whatever it is that you're feeling imposter syndrome in, write down all of your abilities and accomplishments, however few or many they may be. Assess them. What happened last time? What happened in the last relationships? What's happening in this relationship that's one-sided? What's happening in this when they say how they feel? What do I do when I end up not saying anything? What happens there? Let's write down that. Then keep feelings and facts separate. No, everyone feels that way sometimes, imposter-wise. But the fact is, you're not an imposter. You're a human created to love and be loved just like everybody else. So I feel like an imposter, but in fact, I'm not one. Everyone feels this way sometimes. Another way to overcome imposter syndrome, another step, understand when it's natural. If you're alone in a group feeling like this is natural, it may be linked to social stereotypes. Next, be more positive. Perfectionism means you care about your work. I try to be perfect in everything, which means you care about your work. You just don't want to go overboard with it. Knowing when to forgive yourself for not being a perfectionist. I could have did a better job on that. But you got to know when to forgive yourself for that. Because again, you're not perfect. So if you're not being a perfectionist sometimes, it's because nobody's perfect all the time. So again, give yourself grace in these areas. Be more positive. And another step to overcome imposter syndrome, create a healthy response to failing, because we all will fail. And you say, you take the failure not as a loss, but as a lesson, right? So let's create that healthy response. Don't beat yourself up for making mistakes. Oh, I should have said something to her. Should have said something to him. This is about relationships. Learn from your mistakes and move on. Take it as a lesson and move on. That's the thing people don't do. We get stuck and we don't move on. Move on to the next part of what you need to do. So she said, she's crazy about me, and I just looked at her. I didn't say anything. Even though I'm crazy about her too. But I didn't say anything. Why did I say anything? Well, I got to learn from that mistake and move on. And next time, maybe I'll say something. I might not say the exact same thing, but something is better than nothing. Something in the direction that you're trying to go. Another way to overcome imposter syndrome is flip the switch, change your mindset. Know that you won't always know the right answer, but ask for help when you need it. Your person is here to help you. If God gave you your person, they are your help. And you're their help. You need help, I need help. Let's help each other. I'm saying out here by myself, I need some help. And you're not by yourself, but you need help. Stay aware of your thoughts. If you feel inadequate, instead of taking time to learn from others around you, stay aware of your thoughts if you feel inadequate. Instead, take time to learn from others around you. So if you feel inadequate in a relational way, stay aware that you feel that way, but don't get lost in that. Take time to learn from others around you. I'm here to help you. Other people could be here to help you. I'm here to help you, walk you through this thing, because you're going to be a success. You're going to be a win all the way up. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of when do you want to start and how much you trust God to take you through it. But the win is already guaranteed. This is my mom used to say, it's a fixed fight. If God's in it, you always going to win. It's already set. What you waiting for? Go win. Another way to overcome imposter syndrome, visualize your successes. Visualization. Do you ever visualize the most amazing relationship that you could ever have had in your life ever just happening? Do you ever visualize your success in your industry or your field? Do you visualize your success in whatever? Spend time picturing yourself being successful in that relationship. Because if you can see it, you can do it. You can be it. Your mind will believe that you can do it, because you have to visualize it, and you have to believe that it's possible for you. I told you this a long time ago too, right? The big key is to believe that it's possible for you, because when your mind believes it, then your mind can carry it to do it, because your mind doesn't know if what you're saying is real or not. You can say, oh, I'm never going to be able to talk to her about this relationship. Then your mind's going to never let you be able to talk to her about this relationship. Oh, I'm going to talk to her about this relationship. It's going to be so great. Then that's what your mind thinks. Your mind thinks what you tell it. It doesn't think on its own. What are you programming into your mind? Flip that switch. Visualize your success. Spend time picturing yourself being successful in that relationship. And don't think about not belonging in it. Just work on feeling like you belong in that relationship. Visualize it. And believe that you belong there. Believe that's what God has for you, and then you'll be there. Once you believe it, you can do it. If you can visualize it, think about it, picture it, and still not believe it's for you, then it won't be for you. So either way, you're right. It's not for me. You're right. It is for me. You're right. But what do you believe? What are you saying to yourself about yourself? What do you believe about yourself? Yes, I am worthy. I do deserve this amazing love life. I do deserve this amazing partner in life. I do deserve this happily ever after. I do deserve all of that. I believe that God has that for me. And I believe I'm ready now to move into it. And when you believe it, then you start making the steps towards it. Visualize. Celebrate your wins. Don't seek outside validation. Learn to reward your doggone self. If you think you're winning in something, like, oh, she finally told me I finally know what she really thinks. I was just wondering. Now I really know. Don't tell nobody else about it and say, well, what do you think? Did she really know? Ask these people. They don't care about what's good for you. You need to learn to reward your own self. Like, yes, all right. So she said that. So this is what I'm going to do. And take your action. I'm going to let her know how I feel. Another way to overcome imposter syndrome. No, everyone fakes it sometimes. You may need to wing it sometimes. Everyone does. This resource says, view faking it as a skill. Don't be afraid to take some risks. You can fake confidence until you get into where you feel confident. Maybe you rehearse the lines of what you're going to say. Oh, how you been? Miss you so much. I care about you so much. And you practice, I care about you too. I care about you so much too. Oh, I wish we could chat sometimes. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Well, when do you think we can? Instead of saying, oh, talk to so-and-so, they'll schedule it for you. You schedule it. You say, you have it in your mind or written on a little cue card, what you going to say. Oh, well, let's talk after I finish this. Let me make sure I have your right number. And then practice saying that, because you know you're going to freeze up. I know I freeze up and be like, ew, what was I going to say? I got to write it down. So write it down. Who cares? Whatever it takes to get where you need to go. Then eventually you won't freeze up because you'll have the confidence level. Eventually I won't freeze up because I'll know it's not unrequited, right? So there won't be any risky feeling. It'll just be that safe space. It'll be all the things that worry your mind, right? All the things about vulnerability that worry, fear of the unknown. It won't be unknown. It'll be known. You'll know exactly what you're getting. They'll know exactly what they're getting with you, right? You won't have to worry about having a need for control of the situation so it doesn't go awry. It's not going to go awry because you're both well-intended relational partners, right? You won't be yearning for security because you'll feel secure because they'll give you the security. You'll give them the security and both parties will feel secure. Those are the goals of relationships, right? You don't want any mind games and all that. That stuff doesn't work. Not a real relationship, right? So don't be afraid to take some risks. You faking it as a skill. So the skill is writing down what we want to say when we always choke up and forget what to say, because I do that all the time. So let me write this thing down. So I'm all right. I'm gonna look at my note. Okay, so whatever it is, right? Another. I'm finishing up this list here. Another step to overcoming imposter syndrome is to, let's see, I said celebrate wins. Now everybody fakes it sometimes. Take it slow. Okay. Focus on not doing things perfectly, but focus on doing things well and doing things right. I might blow the conversation. I might say something goofy. I might freeze. I might not even be able to handle all of the feelings I'm feeling while I'm talking to them. But it don't have to be perfect. That's going to be part of the story. Don't focus on being perfect. Focus on doing things well and doing things right. It is right to respond to someone when they say something to you. It is right to respond when someone expresses some feelings to you. You got to say, yeah, I feel that. No, I don't feel that. Whatever it is, it's just honest and right and a well-intentioned thing to do. I'll just leave somebody, leave somebody on red. I don't even know what that means because I don't have Apple. I think it shows red if you have Apple. I don't know. But on Android, it doesn't show you that. It just don't say nothing. I don't know if they got the darn message or not. Focus on doing things well and right. Not perfectly, but well and right. It's not right to leave them on red. It's not right to just not respond. Take it slow. Work to make good changes that last. Not just changes for the sake of changes. Not just any change. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. I used to say something. I'm not going to say anything. That's not a good change that lasts. That's just a bad change that lasts. And it just lasts and lasts for years. Like, what are we going to change that bad change? So let's work to make good changes. Like, I'm actually going to have a conversation. And that change will last. And we'll continue to converse. And it'll be like perfection, right? As much as we can be perfect. It'd be like the best thing ever. Take it slow. Recognize that it may take a while to feel more comfortable. But just like the baby take the first little beginner steps, eventually they running up and down the stairs, running through the house, tearing up the whole place, right? But it took a while to feel more comfortable for them. But they did it. Just like you can do this. I know you got this thing. So it may take a little while to feel more comfortable in taking it slow. But don't take it stop. Take it slow. Take a little step. Just text them, say, hi. This is so-and-so. Remember me? I finally unblocked you. Oh, Lord have mercy on me. Yeah, so take it slow. But take it, doggone it. Don't just stand there. Don't compare yourself to others. Stop looking for your faults and listen to what others have to say and focus on learning from them. So we're in this group together, in this community. We're helping each other. I want to hear what you have to say and focus on learning from you, how I can best be there for you. And I want you to listen to what I have to say and focus on learning from me and how you can best be here for me. And stop looking at your faults. Everybody got faults. Who cares? If we're working on our faults and getting better at it, then that's what matters. Not that we have faults. Who's unfaulty? Only God. Only his son Jesus, right? So come on now. You can't compare yourself to that. Okay, here's one. Sign out of social media. Don't be afraid to take a break from the internet. The internet will be there when you get back. Social media can make you compare yourself to others. Don't lie about your life on social media. It causes you to feel like a fraud. That's another way of overcoming imposter syndrome. Don't fight your thoughts and feelings. Well, this is what we're talking about. Try to accept them. Acknowledging how you feel makes it easier to change your thoughts. I feel so good about them. I never told them no. I wish they knew. I don't know how to tell them. I'm scared to see how they're going to respond. But I kind of wish they already knew. But they already know. God already told them everything. Just waiting for you to say so. Now, don't let my phone start ringing. Unless it's you. Don't let it hold you back. Continue chasing your goals. The imposter syndrome can't hold you back. If your goal is to get in that relationship with them, then please do. Work hard even if you feel like you don't belong in that situation, in that job, in that relationship. I feel like an imposter. I feel like a fraud here. I've never had a successful relationship before. But this one's going to be successful. We'll work hard at being successful, even if you feel like you don't belong at first. Because we're just always learning. We're constantly learning and improving. It's continuous improvement as best we can. Sometimes we got to take a rest from it, but don't rest for 5+ years. Just rest for a little bit. Rest if you must, but don't you quit. Learn to let your guard down. You will not be found out. Let your guard down. It's okay. Let it down in the welcoming environment, right? No, it wasn't luck. Many people believe their success is connected to good luck. Oh, y'all so lucky you had it. No, ain't no lucky. God blessing that thing. Some things he nods on and said yes on. Some things he's like, child, and we do it anyway. Just know you worked hard to get there. God put you in this position, and he gonna work the thing out. But you got to have the faith to do it, to take those steps. You're the working portion of it. He bestowed it, and you got to work it. Faith without works, right? So we got to work in the relationship that we have faith in, that we believe is for us, even though we're scared to bits, scared out of my skull. But that scared feeling, it goes away when you start to have the conversation. And not in any conversation with anybody, in the conversation with the person God intended for you to be in that with. Then you'll start to get the confidence, because you'll realize all the many millions of things that you thought in your mind that they might do or say negatively, they're not doing that. They don't feel negatively about you. They know you're not perfect. You should know they're not perfect. We're working on this thing together. And then it'll be so fulfilling, right? So fulfilling. Focus on feelings of accomplishment. Feel grateful for what you've done so far. Let's talk about that. Accomplishment and what you've done so far. We've been in this group since July, the HowWeFlow.Today community. And oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. You've come so far. You are nowhere near the person you were back then. You're nowhere near the person you were last week. Each and every day, each and every moment, you continue to progress into that most amazing being God created you to be and that God called you to be. And then each and every moment of each and every day, you begin to believe more and more that it's possible for you. And each and every moment of each and every day, you begin to walk in that blessing that God had for you. The last portion of walking into that blessing, being strong enough to move past the wall of silence and open up a door for the conversation to flow. And flow it will. It's going to be so amazing that you're going to be beating yourself up for not doing it sooner. Why did I waste all that time? I'm at the top of my family tree. I lost 5+ years already. Where will we be if it was 5 years ago? Well, we might not be in where we should be because we both had to work on stuff. Everybody has to work on some stuff. God has stuff that we got to work on. But we've been working on the stuff. We've been healing. We've been growing. We've been changing. We've been improving. We've been becoming our best selves. And when the best selves align with the best selves, then it's all the way up from here, honey. In 2024, it's all the way up. So let's make that connection to get that thing done. Overcome Imposter Syndrome. That's our resource for How We Flow That Today community today. And, it's time to do something. Say something. Okay, don't hold it in. Don't hold it in. Better out than in. One of my girlfriends used to say that. If she would have like a little burp or a little gas, like, oh my gosh, better out than in, she say. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. It's better out than in. You need to let that thing out. Let all that out. I'm ready to get all of that. I want to say all that. I want all of that. I want all of that. Okay, stop making me wait. Good grief. Been a good girl for a good long time now. I can't be fooling around. Waiting around. All of that. Let's overcome this imposter syndrome or whatever it is. Not saying everyone listening here has that, but this is a resource for some. And hopefully it's been helpful for you or someone that you know. Please share this video with someone that you know if it can help them as well. All right. Also, Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryan, I'm waiting to hear from you about your streaming platform and when you're ready to connect on that. So let's get on that. You're poised to win more than you're winning now. You're already winning like amazingly, but someone else going to get in front of you and you won't be in that position anymore. I need you to get poised to win the way God had for you to win. Okay. So please reach out to me. Someone you know has my number if you don't have it. And some people that we know in common, whether work life or personal life, has my number or know how to get in touch with me. So let's do that. Okay. We need to just talk about that. So we're not sitting and spinning on that thing and you get ahead of the game before someone else does it before you. And I know you like to win. So let's go win, baby. Let's go win. And if he's not watching and you're connected to him, please let him watch this video so he knows what I'm talking about. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you watching and hanging with me this long. Let's see how long you want me to wait? Good golly. How long have you been talking on this video, Stephanie? Oh, let me see. What's the number? Ooh-wee. What? 1 hour and 34 minutes and 18 seconds. Seemed like I just started talking. Boy, I tell you, we can create some content now, can't we? We could have just been having a conversation on the phone or in person like that. Wouldn't that have been great? There's so much ahead. I'm ready for you to step into it. Okay, I'm just waiting for you. I ain't trying to have nobody else step in, but if they do, they just will. I don't know when you're going to show up, but it's like poor kid waiting for their parent to show up to pick them up. Oh, so-and-so, dad or mom's coming. You waiting on the front step with all your stuff. Yeah, we're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese. They ain't coming an hour. They ain't coming 2 hours. Well, they said they'd be here. Oh, I can't reach them on the phone, but they said they coming. And you just waiting and waiting and waiting, and they never come. Well, they'll be there tomorrow. Okay. You're waiting tomorrow more and never come. And then the next day and the next day. And every year for 5+ years, you've been waiting for them to show up to pick you up. And they never come. And they'll never talk to you about it either. How you going to feel? Little kid? I feel like a little kid on the front step, like disappointed. When is my person who loves me going to come? I don't know. Maybe they never come. Maybe I'll never believe nothing they say. Maybe I don't believe nothing anyone else ever says because I didn't believe the one that I counted on the most. Right? So, and that's what happens to people. I don't want that to happen. But I feel like the kid left on the step. Like, they coming. All right. When they coming? Did they say anything? No. They called? No. They answer your email? No. Text you back? No. But they said they coming. Well, when? You know, I'm running out of that child sparkling in their eye of, oh, can't wait for Chuck E. Cheese. Yay. Can't wait for the trampoline park. Yay. Can't wait for Six Flags. Woo woo. Can't wait for Disney. Yay. Can't wait for to go to the beach. Woohoo. Right? When are you going to come? Counting on you. God said it, I believe it, that settles it, but you gotta plug in. All right, get all the other stuff out your mind, get them people out your mind and your ear and in your space, and why are they still there? Gosh, I said I wasn't gonna be talking about that. Why am I still looking at these people sitting up there? Why do I have to look at them? I'm not coming back there if they still sitting there. Because I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them. They ain't, to me, if I still see them, that means you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You ain't coming over where you're supposed to come to. Yeah. I'm like, what? Still there? Oh, God, I want to turn that thing on one day and don't have to see them. Know that you actually moved on. Please free yourself. So, anyhow. I'm just a kid on the step waiting for Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid, right? Come on now. I don't want it to be Five Nights at Freddy's. I want Chuck E. Cheese. Oh my gosh. There was that video game, Five Nights at Freddy's, some few years back when my 20-year-old was maybe like 8 or 9. I don't know how old he was. 8, 9, 10, who knows? And he was so scared of that doggone game. And now they made a remake of it as a movie, I think, Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's kind of like, from what I recall, it's kind of like a kid's, like a Chuck E. Cheese type kid's place. And I guess Freddy would be like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever. But at nighttime, I think it turns into some monstery thing. I don't know. I don't want my Chuck E. Cheese experience, which is so great, to turn into a Five Nights at Freddy's is what it is right now. 5 years at Freddy's. Come on now. How long are you going to make this wonderful person wait for you? It's just not fair. It just ain't even right. That just ain't even right. How long you gonna make yourself wait? Don't think about me. Think about yourself. How much years you wasting on foolishness? Time, money, effort, and feelings. You could just have just exactly what God had for you. But you won't take the step, man. Come on, let's jump off the high dive together. As long as there's water in the pool, we're good. Make sure there's water in the pool. Be like on the Pink Panther cartoon. Everyone into the pool, and the professor jumps off the diving board, cracks the concrete, and the guy says, "Oh, didn't you know, Professor? I was cleaning the pool." And there was no water in the pool. We're gonna jump into this pool of God's glory and goodness, and we're just gonna be swimming in it, just immersed in it. And that's what he said. That's what he said. So I've been waiting. That's why I wait so long. I'm ready for that. I hope you're ready for it. You better be ready for it. But come on, stop playing with me. I'm going to say, stop playing with me. What's this video? Stop playing with them. Stop playing yourself. Overcome imposter syndrome with Stephanie Stallworth, your ATL traffic lady on HowWeFlow.Today-TV. Thanks for joining us today for this wonderful, yet another video, yet another banger. Join our community at HowWeFlow.Today on Instagram, on the website, which is about to go back up at, it's called HowWeFlow.Today instead of .com. It's .today. All right. Plus, check out my streaming service, the Flow streaming service, the Flow Television Network, which carries many networks on there, including the Praise God Network, which is all faith-based. About to launch that into, super status here pretty soon. Plus Flow Food Network, Chef Troy B. Going to lead us on that. We got the Flow Gaming, which Flow Free Play. So many things. So I don't have time to be sitting here wondering when you're going to show up, because I'm trying to keep building this empire. Now this is taking all my energy and my thought life away from the empire. We could be working on the Media Mogul Empire retirement plan and generational plan and helping and impacting other people plan instead of wondering when somebody's going to contact me. Could we please move forward? I appreciate that. Love you so much. God bless you. Love, hearts, pats, hugs, all of that. I got things to do, man. What's that old song? I got work to do. But that's what you used to sing. Remake of a song. I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got a job to do. I got work, baby. I got a job to do. I can't wait to get home to you, but I got so much work to do. I ain't got time to be worried about all this other stuff that should be done. Relationships that should be moved forward, started. Conversations should be had. I got work to do now. I can't fool around. God gave me a charge and I got to do it. And I need you to do what he told you to do so we can move forward, please. It's frustrating just sitting and spinning when I know there's other things that need to get done. I'm doing all I can do on my end. Okay. Except getting on the megaphone saying, hey, do you know this? And you're still going to say, nope. I don't know anything about that. And I pray to God you don't say that. But come on, please. I mean, I got stuff to do. I can't spend all my mind and heart space on waiting to hear something when I got other stuff, other fish to fry. We got to build this thing. I got stuff to build and it's just going by the wayside because all my strength and energy is going to this waiting, this wondering, this unrequited thing. I don't even know what to say about it. It's like, oh, please, thank you. Help us out here. Help a sister out. Why don't you? I ain't mad about it. Ain't upset. Just waiting. A little disappointed nothing happened yet. But I'm counting on you. I know you can pull through this last leg here. You got this thing. All right. Let's pull this last leg out. Bring it on in. Bring it on in. Whoop, whoop. Come on, fastest person alive. You got that thing. Put the video up about the fastest teenager on Twitter. You got to check that out. Boy, he took it way ahead of all them people. That's how I want you to take it way ahead of all the people trying to hold you back. Like, pew, you done passed them people. You done lapped them. All right, you got this thing. This is your thing. It's finally your time. Your asterisk is about to be erased. Let's go. Congrats on all your successes and all the things you've been working on and working towards and doing. So proud of you. God is just pleased with you. And he has more that he requires of you. And will your answer still be yes? If you have any questions about what we're talking about here, please go back to that video that I made. It was about 3 hours on last Monday, not this Monday, last Monday. And then another video that was about 49 or 57 minutes, something like that. Another 2 days after that to explain and talk about your prophet, giving you that prophecy over you on a Sunday at 4 p.m. service. And how it confirmed all these things in 7 or 8 minutes. Their prophecy of 7 or 8 minutes confirmed everything I've been saying in these videos 7 to 8 months. And then furthermore, how when she prophesies that you have a platform and all these other things, all of that lines up, waiting for you to come in and claim your streaming platform that's been sitting here and spinning on autopilot for 3+ years. I've been trying to give it to you, offering it to you, and no one either gives you the message or you don't understand it, or you do understand it and you don't want. I don't know what it is, but please, by all means, before God gives it to somebody else, I need you to come on and stake your claim. What your dad say? Dr. Brian said, Take your place. That's right. Take your place in your when you're being installed. Take your place. Something only Jamal Bryant can do. God told me. So please come take your place. Now, dadgum ya. Let go. What you doing over there? Just living the life. I'm over here on Strignuggle Street. Let's go. Help a sister out. I can't keep waiting in Strignuggle Street. I got to move on. So please take your place. Love you so much. God bless you. It is HowWeFlow.Today-TV. Stop playing with me. Stop playing yourself. Actually, the title is Stop Playing with Them and Stop Playing Yourself. Overcome Imposter Syndrome with Stephanie Stallworth on HowWeFlow.Today-TV. Ding, ding. All right, you. and you. I'm going to ground you and you. What my son said, I told you in the last video. I'm going to ground you and you. If you'll hurry up. Get the step. Come here as fast as you want to see your miracle happen is how fast you move forward. Let's